I strongly believe in writing down your goals. I think writing it down forces you to be concise about it, forces you to actually name what you want to do specifically, and then hopefully you're going to see it over and over so it reminds you of your intention. If you just say, like, oh, I want to get healthy this year, and you don't write down specifically what that means, chances are you're not going to do it. But if you say, I want to eat 6 servings of vegetables every single day in 2017, that's something that's written down, that's concrete, specific, measurable, actionable, or what's that SMART goal? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. There we go. So SMART goals are really a good thing to do all of those things. But a few other tips. What I do, I have this exercise that I do every year and that I have some of my clients do, which is 10 areas of your life. Initially, I got this, I think, from Hal Elrod and the Best Year Ever Blueprint Conference, but I've kind of put it into my own format. So these 10 areas of your life. Hey, Lindsay, my sister just joined. These 10 areas of your life, I highly recommend. Oh, I got so thrown off. Hi. I highly recommend putting goals down for each of these areas of your life. So these areas are like finance, career, health, things like that that would be standard course of action for setting goals. But then there's also one for like spirituality. And this doesn't have to mean religion if that's not your thing, but it could mean like a gratitude journal or a walk or whatever. And there's one area for fun. Whoever thinks about setting goals for fun, but it's a great thing to do. For people who are high overachievers, it's a really great idea to set a goal for fun. So I'm going to have to upload my little sheet to my website somehow. This is like where my technical side starts failing me a little bit, but I'm going to find a way to post my exercise sheet in the comments for you guys, my 10 goal setting areas. And then what I would suggest you do is brainstorm goals for each one of those. So you might say, I want to take vacation. Last year, one of my goals was I want to go on 1 trip per month, either for business or pleasure. You might have all these goals written down on the brainstorming sheet, and then say, okay, I'm going to narrow in and really focus on 2 or 3 of those. That's the most that you can legitimately focus on at a time, is 2 to 3 main goals, and then really commit to them. It's a mindset. So often the problem with New Year's resolutions is we're like, yeah, I want to lose 50 pounds and I want to go to the gym for 3 hours a day every day, and all this stuff that's really unrealistic, unmotivating, and frankly just not well thought out. That's what gets us in trouble. So if you can instead stick to 2 or 3 goals that are reasonable and that you have an action plan to go achieve, you will be set up for absolute success. That action part is the critical piece. So here's something that I'm doing this year. It's only 13 days into the year, so I can't really tell you if this is working or not, but I think it's really interesting and fun. So I have 9 specific things that I'm working on this year. They're in 2 or 3 categories. So I have 2 or 3 big overarching goals, and then 9 steps for each one of those. So for example, in the category of health, one thing that I want to do just for kicks this year is do a 1-minute plank every single day of 2017. Another thing that I want to do is limit my added sugar at night. You guys know I'm always working on that. So these are 2 specific action steps for that big overarching health goal. And now of these 9 areas, they go in a specific order. So let's say, this is not the case, but let's say the sugar was the first one. I would put an S there. Let's say the second one was a plank. I would put a P. And so I have all these initials. Now, every single day, I write down which of those 9 things I do. And if I didn't do it, I have a box. So if I didn't do my plank yesterday, I would have an open box instead of the P. And so 9 of these things every day, 7 days a week, I have 63 potential options for letters. And then at the end of the week, I did total last week, and I will again for all of the remaining 51 weeks. how many of those 63 opportunities to reach my goal I actually achieved. And it was not 63 last week. I don't remember how many it was, but I have ways to go for improvement, which is always a good thing. And I'm just going to measure. Okay, this week was better than last week. Let's try to figure out why I fell off this week, or why this week overall wasn't as great, or let's celebrate why this week is good. So if that resonates with you, you can just do that on paper or in Excel or whatever format feels good to you. But trying to track something daily, weekly, and monthly and celebrating those wins is really great. I only have 2 more thoughts on this, then I'll get off the goal setting thing. I use Kevin, my husband, as an example of how not to set a goal, and he knows this. He makes fun of himself too. But he sets the goal every year that he's going to be able to touch his toes by the end of the year. And he can't touch his toes, and it's been like 6 years, so this clearly is not working. Why is this not working? Because he said in the past, oh, by December 31st, I just want to be able to touch my toes. And if it's January 5th, he can't touch his toes. If it's January 30th, he can't touch his toes. If it's February 20th, he can't touch his toes. So it's very demotivating. He doesn't have an action plan like I'm going to stretch 5 days a week, and he doesn't have an interim win to be able to reach his goal. So it's demotivating and unrealistic, which is a bummer. Now this year, he has a smart water bottle. It's not this, but this one's kind of like the same height as a smart water bottle. And he measured as he reached down, like from the top, like he was bending over, you know, where on the smart water bottle his fingers hit the farthest he could stretch. And so every single week, he can now tell, did my fingers get closer and closer and closer? And I honestly think this is going to be the year that he can touch his toes. Let's see. Fingers crossed that he keeps using that smart water bottle, because he has interim wins to celebrate. Last thing, she asked if I recommend a planner. I have 2 suggestions. One, my friends Brandy and Matt put together this awesome Legendary Life Planner, legendarylifeplanner.com. You can buy it there. You can also get a free PDF of the whole entire planner. So this is what I did, and then I sent it to Kinko's, and they printed it for like $18, and it's bound up, and it's super cool. I love it. That's where I'm writing my 9 little letters every day, and they have a little section for gratitude. It's a great planner, so I really highly recommend that. It's free, legendarylifeplanner.com. The other one that I use, this is not a planner, but I use my 5-minute journal every day. I happen to have it here in the office because I left the house kind of in a rush this morning, and I didn't get to finish. So I finished when I was in the office. But what this one is, it says, I am grateful for, 3 things I'm grateful for. What would make today great? 3 things I can do to take ownership of the day. And then daily affirmation. So you write something positive. And then at the end of the day, you write 3 amazing things that happened. You can celebrate all the good stuff. And how could I have made today even better? So you can learn from anything that didn't go so well. Those are 2 resources I recommend.